Okay, so solve for y, and in the first equation you can see y is my only variable. In part B, I have an x, so my answer there will involve x, and then in C there's just the variable y, so it would only be a y. So let's go ahead and start with part A. This is just really cluttered, so let's clean this up a little bit, and certainly we can use the distributive property to rewrite the left-hand side as 2y plus 6 and then plus 5y, and I've got 2y and 5y, so let's go ahead and collect those like terms. We'll write 7y plus 6, and that equals. Now over on the, let's see, right hand side, I guess I'm looking at the 21 and the 10, 21 and the minus 10, so I think I'm going to collect that up as an 11. So 21, and then, you know what, let me not get ahead of myself. That's certainly true, but let's go ahead and use this distributive property. So um, again, a cautionary tale here. This is, I'm multiplying by -1. You can think about it like that. Or I'm subtracting this quantity. That means I need to make sure I'm taking the opposite of each of these. So this is going to be a minus 2y and a plus 7. So this becomes negative, or it becomes positive 21 minus 2y and then plus 7 and then minus 10. I can go ahead and, let's see, I guess I could combine um, the 7 and -10 and call that -3. So I'll write 21 minus 2y and then minus 3. And if I take away 3, if I collect the 21 and the 3, this is going to become a positive 18. So I've got 18 and then minus 2y. And then over on the other side, I haven't changed this at all. I'm just going to rewrite it as 7y plus 6. I've got myself totally out of room here, and this is not flowing well for me tonight. Let's see. 7y plus 6 equals 18 minus 2y. Let's add 2y to both sides. So 9y plus 6 is 18, and then 9y equals, if I add 6 to both sides, I'm sorry, I need to subtract 6 from both sides, and when I take this 6 away from each side, I get 9y equals just the number 12. So y is 12 ninths, and there is a common factor there. Both 12 and 9 can be divided by 3, so I probably should write my answer as y equals, let's see, 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So y equals 4/3. And you know, I gotta say, the goal here is not for you to hear me say any of this, or watch me say any of this, or watch me do any of this. Really, the goal is for what's happening in your own mind. So as you're doing these problems, you know, I could point out if you're doing them and you get the wrong answer, I could show you it's probably a really simple mistake, but really take some time and just be aware of what you're doing and what you're thinking, and don't rush yourself. And also, you know, it's great to check this answer, and it's relatively easy to do, to plug this value in and just verify that really the left hand side and the right hand side are identical. Let's move on to part B. So in part B, I'm asked to solve for y. That's a little problematic because I can see I've got some y's in two different locations. You can see there's some y's over on the left-hand side and some y's on the right-hand side. I think what I'm going to do is add 6y to both sides. So if I do that, at least my y's will be in the same location. So this is going to become 3x plus 10y equals, and we would just write 12 plus x. Let's go ahead and take away 3 from both sides, or 3x's. So if I take away 3x's from each side, this is going to become 10y equals 12, and then minus 2x. And what I'm going to do next is I multiply, I guess, by both sides by 1/10, or maybe I could think about it as dividing both sides by 10. If I multiply the left-hand side by 1/10, I certainly get y. And on the other side, if I multiply by 1/10, right, I get something that looks like this. And it's fine if you write it like this. if you realize that you can divide both of these are divided by 10. So if I simplify this, it's going to be 12 tenths, which reduces to, what is that, 5 sixths, and minus, actually, let me write it. I'll write that step. So 12 tenths, and then minus 2 fifths, not 2 fifths, my bad, minus 2 tenths x. So you can see all I've done is I've multiplied both the 12 by a tenth and the negative 2x by 1/10. And now I'm just going to simplify these fractions, and I think I'm going to change the order too. I'm going to write y equals negative 1/5 x, and then plus, if I divide each of those by 2, it would be plus 6 fifths. Okay? And then the final question in this set is part C. And I think the best tool that we have and that we've discussed often is just busting up this fraction, right? So if I hit, there's two terms on the left hand side and one term on the right hand side, but if I hit all those terms with just a factor of 4 times y, all those fractions will cease to be fractions. And actually, let's go ahead and write that out just really clearly, right? So in my numerator, this 3 is going to have a 4y factor join it, and that's going to be over 4 plus 2, and I'm going to have a 4y factor join it over y, and that's going to equal 5. And again, there's going to be a factor of 4y that joins that over 2. So you can see everything, right, just got picked up a 4y, a 4y, a 4y. So before there was not a 4y, not a 4y, not a 4y, but we just pushed that factors of 4 and factors of y across the entire equation and landed at every single one of the terms. Over on the left-hand side, when we simplify this now, right, the great news is that there are lots of giant ones. So this is just the number 1, right? So we're left with 3y and then plus. On the other side there, you can see that there's another y with another 1 rather with y over y. So we're left with 2 times 4, which is 8. And then over here we've got this 4 over 2, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. If you prefer, you can write 2 times 2 over 2 and see that, yes, it legitimately is a 1. And there's a factor of 2 left over. So this is 2 times 5, which is 10, and then y. So nice, straightforward equation to solve. Next, I guess I'm going to take away a 3 from both sides, or 3y, so this is going to be 8 is equal to 7y. Again, I subtracted 3y here and 3y on the other side of this equation. And now if I divide both sides by 7, 8 sevenths is y. You can see this, right? Over 7 over 7. So here's the 1. That's why I picked the 7. Y is 8 sevenths. And that is the answer for part C.